Hello, welcome back to the Wolf Den. I am the Wolf.
I'm Daddy-O.
And here we are, episode 11.
Number 11. And on a note, number 10A was accidentally deleted maliciously.
Not entirely true. It was deleted, but not maliciously. It was accidental.
Yeah.
I was looking through the files, and I was trying to figure out which video was which. And I was like, oh, I need this one, not this one. And then I just deleted the one I didn't need without really thinking about it. Hopefully I can find it in my trash can or something. Somewhere I can find that.
It's in cyberspace. It exists. We just lost it, I guess.
Yeah.
So no special edition, no lost. Well, it is a lost episode now.
Yeah, completely
Literally.
lost. Unless I can find it. But anyways, here we are. This is our last video before we talk about Infinity War and Endgame in the same video, same time. And then we're going to put a pause to the Marvel talk. There are no negative connotations or negative reasons as to why we're putting Marvel on pause. We just haven't been making videos for the last 3 years, and there were still movies coming out. So when we did this, we kind of had to put all of them at once, at one time, just and boom, 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 trying to get them knocked out. And also there are no new Marvel movies out. So we're just going to put the Marvel talk on pause and then talk about other stuff.
Well, actually, okay, November is when Black Widow comes out, but we could still talk about things that we've heard about, like we did.
Well, that's true.
Ghost Rider. So we don't. It's not like we're just movies.
The movies are on pause.
We can still talk about Marvel stuff any information that we find out off the old internet.
Right.
And then let's see. Was there supposed to be another movie this year besides Black Widow? I mean, they were knocking them out 2 a year. Then it was 3 a year for a couple of years, and then what? Now we're down to 1.
I'm not sure. I honestly don't know what the next, because I know a lot of the focus went to Disney Plus, and they were going to be doing their the Marvel TV shows,
which are all not supposed to come out until September or October.
Which we will be talking about those.
I think WandaVision is first, and Falcon and Winter Soldier might be coming out right close to that. But I'm pretty sure WandaVision is going to be the first one.
Actually, I think the What If series is the first one that comes out.
Well, I have to go look at clips again, because I'm pretty sure WandaVision's first. But anyway, and then we got some wrestling to talk about. We don't have a versus this week. Stuff's been going on. You had to work a lot.
I did have to work a lot.
And so we didn't get a chance, but we'll save that for episode 13, because I know there was a couple of more songs in your playlist.
We did listen to Life is a Highway.
That's right. Well, we can do that then.
Yeah.
That's right, because we listened to three versions, right? Or just the 2?
Just the 2.
So I forgot all about that. Okay, so Life is a Highway, which you have in your playlist by Rascal Flatts.
Yes.
And I played you the original, which is by Tom Cochrane, who used to be the lead singer of Red Rider, who had the song Lunatic Fringe. You know that song, right?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Which was interesting because for a while Kurt Angle used it for his entrance theme when he was in Impact.
Right.
But it was just an instrumental version. Then they put a rap over it.
Right. And
so they totally distorted the song.
And what's also weirder about that is during his time in WWE, I don't remember when he picked up the nickname, but that was Dean Ambrose's nickname.
Lunatic Fringe?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't use it for Kurt Angle as a nickname. It's just
that's
the name of the song.
I know, but what I'm saying is why he didn't pick up that theme music to go along with his nickname. Well, maybe it would have been too much. I don't know.
You know what's funny, though? They're very limited on the imaginations, because what are they calling Brian Cage right now?
The Unstoppable Brian Cage?
No, the Machine. He's a machine.
The Machine.
Same thing they said about Kurt Angle. And what was Kane?
The Big Red Machine.
The Big Red Machine. So, he's unstoppable. He's a machine. after a while, when they did Unstoppable Machine on Kurt Angle when he was in Impact, that's when they nicknamed him the Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
When he went back to WWE, they were calling him the Cyborg, but then Cesaro was the Swiss Cyborg, Swiss Superman.
Yeah, why did they drop the Superman off of his nickname?
Probably because of the Superman punch from Roman Reigns. I don't know.
I have no idea. He was the Swiss Superman, and then they're like, the Swiss Cyborg.
But now the team of Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura, I found out, you know what they're called? The Artist Collective. I just heard that on the other night. And songs.
Yeah, so to come all the way back around.
Right. So, okay, which one did you like better?
I still like the Rascal Flatts version better.
Probably because you're more used to it, though.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I even heard the song was the movie Cars, when that came out, which I don't remember how long ago that was. But 2010? Maybe a little earlier.
You can let us know in comments if you want. You can tell us how stupid we are.
Yeah. But anyways, that movie Cars came out, which is a really good movie. And it comes from the scene when Lightning and Mac are going to California. I forget where they're supposed to be, and then they're driving cross country. So then they do a montage and they bring up Life is a Highway, and they got Rascal Flatts to do it, which is the first time I heard the song, and I really liked it.
And that's why it's in your playlist.
That's why it's in my playlist.
Well, I'm going to say that I like Tom Cochrane's version better. I like the instrumentation better. I love the harmonica in it.
Yeah, the harmonica felt out of place.
Well, yeah, that's because you're not used to it. It's I could say that it not being in your song feels out of place. But, because it's a matter of perspective. But I think that came out in 91, the Tom Cochrane version, the original version. And I like his version better. I like his voice better. I like the instrumentation better. Like I said, the guitar and the harmonica work on the song are really good. Rascal Flatts version, I think, is very slick and commercially and
I like that the music is turned up. It's a little bit. I think it was a little faster, because it felt kept intact the highway feeling. Life is a highway, so music should be a little bit faster. You're not on the slow lane. But anyways, that was a stupid joke, which is all I tell. FYI, all I tell are stupid jokes. But I listen to it. The Tom Cochrane. We listen to him back to back. By the way, we don't listen to it one day and listen to it the next. We listen to it back to back. And I don't know. Tom Cochrane's felt slower. The harmonica felt out of place. The music more or less was the same. And I think his voice, if I remember correctly, his voice was a little higher versus the lead singer of Rascal Flatts. His voice felt a little lower, not deep, but lower, and to me that just sounds better.
You're singing it in a different key. But I think about Tom Cochrane's voice, it's raspier. I'm just used to it because of Lunatic Fringe. That was Red Rider's big hit song, and I don't know of any other songs by them that I've ever heard. And so when he came out solo, I was like, oh, instantly recognizable voice. And the song was cool. It sounded like he was going for the John Cougar Mellencamp type of feel. They did that with a couple of different guys that were around the same time. When record companies, when something is successful, well, movies too,
TV shows,
when it's successful, they want more carbon copies of it. And around that time, Tom Cochrane, and then they also did it with Brian Setzer from the Stray Cats. They made him sing these Americana type genre of songs because they were trying to cash in on John Mellencamp stuff. But overall, I like like his version of the song. Rascal Flatts, like I said, is too commercialized for me. The instrumentation, there's a lot of echo in there, which is a hallmark of just being overproduced pop stuff, which I don't care for. And so we put that to bed.
Yeah.
You like Rascal Flatts, I like the original.
And as opposed to last week, and when he can at least admit that he liked Disturbed's version of the song.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently does not like the Rascal Flatts version.
Yeah, so we won't agree every time. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, basically, we're not going to agree every time. But tell us what you think. Do you like Tom Cochrane better? Do you know
Tom Cochrane's version?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking a lot of people that watch our channel might be more your age than my age.
Who knows?
So if you don't know who he is or his version of the song, Google it and then listen to it. And then make up your own decision. And you can let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah.
Where all the comments go.
Yeah, what you think of which version. And then you were telling me that there was also like a country remake.
There was another guy named Chris Ledoux who also did the song in the 90s. His version was more like 95 or something. Chris Ledoux is he did get popular. He got popular from Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks actually mentions his name in his first hit single, Much Too Young to Feel This Damn Old. There's a lyric where he's talking about something about women in bad booze listening to worn out tapes of Chris Ledoux. And people were like, who the hell's that? And so they started finding out about him. He's actually a champion rodeo rider who was a musician on the side and sold cassettes or 45s out of the back of his truck when he was at the rodeo. And actually, Garth Brooks stole a lot of his showmanship stuff that he does from Chris Ledoux. Chris Ledoux, when you go see him, he wanted to be more than just a regular performer. He had a mechanical bull on his stage, and then they would like shoot out fireworks, pyro from it while he's on it. That was Garth Brooks like totally ripped him off. But anyway, Chris Ledoux's version. Yeah, did you hear it?
No, we didn't listen to it.
Where were you?
Where was I? What?
When I was playing it, I listened to it.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe in my room. I know you told me about it. I just didn't hear it. But anyways, you can look those up. Listen to them. Tell us what you think. Which one do you prefer? Am I right? Is he right? Are we both wrong? Who knows?
Is the Chris Ledoux version the best one?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Let us know.
Okay, so that's gone. I don't have notes
for
topics, so let's talk about what we just watched.
Yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Which I don't know why for the longest of time I wanted to keep putting the word away in that title.
Far Away From Home?
Yeah, but I don't know why, but that is an incorrect title. It is Spider-Man Far From Home. Also, just because I'm slightly nerdy about this, Spider-Man is hyphened. It is not one word. There is a hyphen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Most people.
I've heard about that debate.
Yeah. It's a hyphen name. Spider-Man hyphen.
Yeah. But Batman isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman isn't.
Right.
I don't know.
Ant-Man is hyphened.
Ant-Man is hyphened. Okay. So it's a pattern.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But it was good. I've mentioned this the last time I talked about Spider-Man, but I am a big Spider-Man fan.
Well, we knock out the holes first and then talk about the rest of the movie.
Okay. Well, one of the things I think I brought up to you.
Well, we just watched it.
Right. Well, I know, but I think I said this to you before. But spoilers. At the end of the movie, or during the end credit scene, it's revealed that, I forget his name, but the Skrull, one of the Skrulls, has been pretending to be Nick Fury, and the other one is Maria Hill. Was it the same guy from Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember what his name is. But anyways, and then, Nick Fury's up in space doing his thing. But in Captain Marvel, we're told that the reason that Skrulls can act like us is because they can read your mind. They can't go very deep, but they can search your recent memories. So how Quentin Beck was able to deceive them at all? Like, how did he not land in Mexico? They read his mind and go, oh, click, click, handcuffs, and just get rid of him.
Because he wasn't there?
Yeah, well, was it the hologram? Well, but then shouldn't they be able to be like, hey, I can't read this guy's mind. Is there something wrong?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, because it's a hologram, because he has the quick change armor. So
right.
When is he a hologram? When is he not? But, I mean, to me, they should be able to, like, either they read his mind in Mexico, and so the movie should have ended in, like, Mexico, where Nick Fury just arrests him. Or
the first 5 minutes.
The scroll as Nick Fury arrests him. Or they go, wow, I can't read his mind. That must not be a real person.
That's something's wrong here. We need to investigate further.
Yeah.
I was going for the obvious one from the beginning when they talked about the blip.
Oh, the character Brad. Yeah, because they said that when you blipped away, you didn't age when you came back.
But everybody else had aged 5 years. And that's told by by Betty Brant.
Yeah.
In their school video.
Yeah, right.
School news broadcast. But then in the very next scene, basically.
Yeah, they talk about
they're on the plane and they're saying, how did Brad come back from the blip? He's
ripped and he's tall and
he's older and he's...
Unless we're just dumb and we misheard the way that they talked, although I've seen this movie 4 times now. Yeah, that makes the 4th time. And we just don't understand the way that the sentence is being formed. To us, it sounds like they just kind of went back on, he blipped away and then he blipped back, ripped.
And he blipped back like taller, older, muscular, and all that. So...
Yeah.
We'll talk
that
about...
That make a whole lot of sense.
I'm going to talk about... there was one other plot thing that screwed up. Oh, no, you had a fix for the ending.
Yes. More like a theory, not really a fix. So at the end of the movie, we see that Quentin Beck gets shot by...
his drone.
By his drone and, basically succumbs to his wound. I think he's faking. I think he's alive.
Well, no, that isn't what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. What are you talking about?
The fix, because Jameson revealed, or Quentin Beck revealed...
That's what you were talking about. Okay.
That Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and you said, oh, that's easy, just have a Skrull become Spider-Man, and then Peter Parker them be in the same room together.
Yeah, pretty much.
But here's another thing going back, and one is, why was J. Jonah Jameson bald?
Yeah, what's up with that?
What is up with that? That's not right. He's got to have his flat top.
So we saw that in the theaters, and we've talked about this years before they even announced Homecoming, is that we really like...
J.K. Simmons.
There we go. Thank you. J.K. Simmons as
Jonah,
and
he's the best. Jameson,
great. We loved it. It was like, would he ever come back?
It's like he's born to play. Jameson.
Would he ever be in the movies again? Will we ever see him? And then Homecoming was announced, and we're like, oh ho ho! And then he wasn't in Homecoming as anything, not even as Jameson. And so we're like, huh, okay. Then we saw Far From Home in theaters, and it didn't happen until the end credit scene. And it's like, this was uploaded by Daily Bugle, and it pops up, and there's JJ.
They qualified, or they quantified dailybugle.com as being like shady and not reputable or reputable. That it's kind of like National Enquirer. So,
right.
But there's another thing too. Is when the hell did Beck shoot that?
Right, because when was he recording and when was he not?
Yeah, well, I mean, how did he record the thing saying, okay, because he had cuts on his face and he said Spider-Man attacked me for no reason. Mm-hmm. So when did he say, oh, by the way, Peter Parker is, but Spider-Man's real name was Peter Parker? Wasn't he kneeling on the ground when he recorded it? He was like laying there.
Right. And so, it shows, because there is that time when Peter but he's dying.
Yeah,
Well, dying.
That's
essentially,
what I'm saying.
When he takes the Edith glasses and he puts them on, so how was that possible?
How did he have time to record that before before the whole ending thing? So I don't.
Right.
I've got a problem with that.
That is a little weird.
Going back. Oh, and then I had another one for you. Was okay. Remember Ned off the top of his head. Black Spider-Man is Night Monkey. And so Betty is yelling, Night Monkey, no. But how did the press figure that? How did the press find that out?
Yeah, they weren't there.
Unless the inference that I could come up with was that somebody else heard her shouting, her and Ned shouting that, and that's when they picked up on it and it got to the press. Otherwise, how in the heck did the press catch that name, Night Monkey, which was a cool name, by the way.
Yeah, that was I don't know. So
those are holes, but on the whole, or the rest of the movie, we love it.
Yeah, no,
that's the best one.
Yeah, definitely. So this makes his fourth outing.
3, 5, 6, 7. Seventh movie, only 2 with Tom Holland.
No. But I meant in the MCU. So there's.
I count pre-MCU Spider-Man as Spider-Man movies.
No, I'm talking about Tom Holland though. This is his. Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, Homecoming,
Far From Home.
Oh,
so
5. So 5 and 2 standalones. Tom Holland has appeared in the MCU as Spider-Man, and I think you're right. Far From Home is probably his best outing in the MCU.
Actually, it's just 3 appearances, 2 standalones.
Okay,
but he is the best Spider-Man since Tobey Maguire, and that's the thing. I think we talked about this before. Is that they've reverted the rights to Spider-Man back to Sony, and Sony's making crap movies. So I don't look at the information that we have. He's got his relationship with the new MJ. What is her name? Zendaya. She's
the actress. Yeah, I think it's
Zendaya. She's a singer and model and actress, and she's doing a good job. I like her weird. She could be a goth. She's on that path.
Right, she could be.
She's like on the goth spectrum. She's like more like I don't give a crap about anything. I like her. I like the Flash Thompson that they're using. He's doing it. That kid's doing a good job. Ned is cool. The man, I'm still your man in the chair.
Yeah.
Who else? No, I don't understand how or why. Maybe somebody owed JB Smoove a favor because his character in the movie is just like a throwaway.
Yeah, he doesn't play a big part. He's just like he has lines through most of the film,
but the lines are stupid.
Yeah, well, I was just saying he has lines in the film, except for when it's like Spider-Man focused. But they make sure that he's in the film and he has lines. But I mean, he's just like a random teacher, and just like
I thought he was. Well, he's not the principal.
No, he's a science teacher.
Science teacher, yeah. As a man of science, it's witchery.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I wish he would have had a little bit more to him, but
made a character that made sense other than just being random.
Right, because if you're gonna
because he's a good comedian, I love JB.
If you're gonna put oh well, Peter's still in high school, so here's his teachers, and especially a science teacher would be somebody that Peter looks up to.
Would be like friends with and
trying to accrue as much knowledge as possible.
Because remember when Quentin Beck tells him that there's a multiverse, he just totally geeks out.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel that his character should have had a bit more to him.
Sorry, JB.
The other stuff, though, again, the whole movie is good. The
plot is awesome. The story they came up with, I loved how they, on Quentin Beck's team of whatever they are, geeks, tech geeks, how they showed you where 2 of them came from.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I really liked how they handled Mysterio. Mysterio is probably one of the coolest villains that Spider-Man has, and it's all illusions, and that's the coolest part. And just to basically, Mysterio, when you bring him to the big screen, is like your writers are like can just use their imagination, let it run wild.
Yeah, because
what if this happens and what if that happens, and then they take it to the visual effects people and like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, and the fight scene in the building.
Yes. Oh,
where
my
he's
gosh.
just that was cool.
That's so good.
Jake Gyllenhaal, excellent Mysterio.
Yes, great Quentin Beck, a great Mysterio. He plays him convincing, especially the scene when they're in the bar, and his goal is to get the Edith glasses, but he's playing it off as he doesn't want it. Like he's tricking him. It's another illusion. Instead of just like, forcefully stealing them, or I guess maybe I don't know if he knew that he needed Peter to change to allow him the access. I don't know if he knew he needed that confirmation.
Yeah, but wait a minute though. The whole scene, he wasn't trying to get the glasses. He didn't know about them.
No, he did, because he said, "Oh, are those the Edith glasses?" And he's like, "They were just on the floor." But it was like one of his projections or something handed it to him. So it was a whole long game that he wanted them, and that was really good of him just like basically, no, I don't know, like reluctantly accepting it, and then once Peter leaves, he's like, I did it.
Wait till he's gone. 3, 2, 1. Everybody party.
Yeah, he got it. He got what he wanted.
So yeah, he was a good villain. There was something else I was going to say about like how they tied in, because they did that in boom 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 boom. They did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They showed you 2 characters that were in the movies that they put them in the in the show, and they were Hydra agents. So it was pretty cool how they took those guys and was like, or no, they were from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they revealed them as Hydra agents in Civil War, I think. Well, anyway, they did it before, and it works cool how they took now to like the when Gyllenhaal's explaining the whole thing about how his illusion tech that he had, he wanted it for something, and then they show when Tony was like, he used it to render his family or whatever,
right? And
then they cut to the scene of Gyllenhaal like off stage. I'm like, okay, that wasn't there before, but that's cool.
Yeah, I did go back and not this time.
And they call it barf.
Yeah, not this time, but probably the second time maybe that I saw it. I was like, I kind of went back to Civil War, and I was like, where is Jake Gyllenhaal? I don't see him. He's not there. But it was still cool, and to even go all the way back to 2008 to the first Iron Man, the scientist that Obadiah Stane yelled at, which why?
What was his name?
I don't know.
Because he's like, this guy's name was Gunder. This guy's name was Bob or something, and
right.
Yeah.
But why that translates into hate for Tony Stark and not Obadiah Stane, I don't know. Because Tony wasn't putting any pressure on him, and Obadiah is the one that yelled at him. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. Sorry.
Yeah, but he was still working at Stark Industries, and it was part of that tech, or part of what he was working on, that helped Gyllenhaal with his illusions. Right. So putting it all together, they still were pissed at Tony for, not believing in them.
I mean, to go all the way back to 2008,
was cool.
Just to pull this character that we saw 30 seconds, and like the last few seconds he's on screen, he gets screamed at, and we don't see him
12
ever
years
again.
ago.
Yeah, that was pretty intense and
great.
really cool. Now the ending, what I started talking about, because that's what I thought you were talking about. I don't think Quentin Beck is dead. I think he's alive. What do you think?
I think he's dead. I think he was shot and he's dead. The other thing is, though, one thing that we talked about was okay, why didn't the Avengers show up?
Right.
If Quentin Beck created an Avengers level threat, and even Fury thought it was real until Parker told him. But before that, when Parker's like, I don't want to do it, what about Thor? He's off-world. What about Doctor Strange? He's unavailable. Where are the rest? Where is whoever's left? Wanda,
Rhodey.
Falcon, Rhodey,
Winter
Soldier, Ant-Man,
There's what's her face?
Captain Marvel. Don't invoke her name.
No. Well, I guess we'll figure out what's going on with Wanda, but the Scarlet Witch.
Well, I did say that was the first name.
Oh, did you? Oh.
So there's 6.
Rescue, because there was Pepper Potts. Technically, Valkyrie she's also Asgardian, and
she's not an Avenger.
She is at the end of Endgame, which we'll get to.
Okay, so there's 6 or 7 Avengers, and none of them showed up for this. It didn't register with any of them.
Right, and not even T'Challa is alive, so his whole
Black
thing.
Panther, so 8,
Black
9,
Panther's
10.
there. Shuri. I think
His sister?
Yeah, his sister. I hope I said that right.
So
there's like all of these people. How come?
Yeah, how come it didn't register with anybody?
Yeah.
And then when they were pulling off when Mysterio's pulling off the final illusion, he waits for something. Then he goes, "Okay, great, no Avengers are coming, so let's do this." And it's like, why not? Where are they? So that one, I don't know.
But so the theory I want to talk about him not being dead. The reason that I don't think it's true, because I think there's a very important switch in Peter's question. So we see he gets shot by the drone, and then he's laying there dying, and he's saying stuff, and he goes to hand over the glasses. Then Peter catches the invisible hand as Beck fires his gun, and then dies to his wounds, right? And then Peter puts on the glasses and says, "Is he?" And he's gonna say dead, but he stops and he changes his answer to his question to, "Is this an illusion?" Right? And then so Edith tells him,
he says, "Is this real?"
Yeah, all illusions are down.
So while he's looking over his crumpled body, he's dying. I don't think his armor was bulletproof.
No, I don't think it's bulletproof at all either.
Well, then.
But, hold on. So he didn't ask if he's dead. I think that's very important because Edith could have read his vitals.
True.
Right? Because people have been he was just shot in the gut. I mean, if we watch The Walking Dead, Rick's been shot in the same place like twice and impaled on that same place and didn't die. So he's shot in the same place if he is shot at all. The other thing is in the comic books, Quentin Beck gets diagnosed with cancer from the chemicals that he uses, which I think in the movie it was just all like holograms, none of his chemicals. But anyways, he uses chemicals, and exposure to the chemicals over years causes cancer in his body.
I don't think they would go that dark with the Marvel movie.
No, I'm not. Yeah, but that's not what I'm getting at. And then, so in the comic book, Quentin dies from cancer, like dead. And then later he comes back, and he takes over the role as Mysterio again. And Spider-Man's like, "I thought you died from cancer. How are you here?" And he's like, "Well, it probably has to do with something being the master of illusion." Duh. Exact words. So to fake a gunshot or to actually be shot in a spot that's not super vital, I think he can live from that. If he can come back from cancer and fake it.
Because I don't think so, because I don't think he was shot just once. I think he was shot multiple times, and the drones were coming in weapons hot, so they weren't illusion bullets.
Right.
It really, and then because the drones wouldn't fire, and he's like, "Why?" And Edith says, "Because you're in the kill zone or strike zone or whatever, and your probability of surviving." And then she's all, "Just do it anyway." And so when Peter's able to turn that drone around, it shoots him. I think it shoots him multiple times, and I think he's dead.
I think he can be alive.
So
if he can fake death from cancer, but actually have real cancer, I think he can fake dying from a gunshot wound after getting shot. But, we'll see.
We don't know what Sony is going to do with what they have, which pisses me off, because just leave it to Marvel. They're doing so good. Sony's track record with superhero movies is crap. And so, we can do it better. Let's just give it back to us. You don't need to be involved anymore. What happened is Marvel just made Sony a bajillion dollars, because they already got their cajillion in Marvel. The bajillion went to Sony, so now they have enough money to upgrade their studios and hire better people. But are they going to keep Tom Holland? Are they going to go back with, what was his name? Asa Butterfield? Was that the dude?
Huh?
Asa Butterfield? Was that the name of the Amazing Spider-Man?
No, that was Andrew Garfield.
Oh. Whatever. But, yeah, are they going to take him back? Or, I'm afraid. The worst thing that I could hear about the next Spider-Man is that it's going to be directed by J.J. Abrams.
So we also watched Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll talk about that. But closing thoughts on Far From Home.
Best Spider-Man movie. Even with the problems that we talked about.
Yeah.
It's the best Spider-Man movie.
It's good. I know that they've kind of set up for Matt Gargan to be his next type of villain. Like, he hates him. He wants to get out of prison, become the Scorpion and everything. Which
was in
Homecoming. But who I would like to see on the big screen as his next villain is Kraven the Hunter. I have no idea who would play him, but I want to see it.
Somebody older, right?
Yeah, and then you also have they've showed the trailer, the Morbius trailer, which is a Spider-Man villain, and it's Jared Leto, and I've watched that trailer like a bunch of times.
He did have some female villains.
He has.
So with all the women's movement about trying to get them more in the movies, they could do a female villain. Also, if we're going through, we got not Tarantula. What do you say? What is his name?
Kraven
Scorpion.
The Hunter. Oh, Scorpion.
Scorpion, Kraven Hunter. You think Mysterio could come back? Also, I'd say a female villain. And there was one other one I just had on the top of my head. I don't know. I'll have to come back to it.
I don't know. But if we talk about the females.
Oh no, that's what I was saying. What about if they brought out Spider-Woman?
Oh, okay. I was actually going to say Black Cat.
Okay.
That would also be an interesting one, because if you're not familiar with their relationship, Spider-Man and Black Cat is a lot like Batman and Catwoman. Not just because of name, but actually because of Catwoman is a jewel thief, and Batman tries to stop her, but he also gets infatuated and kind of falls in love, and they have an on-again, off-again relationship. Actually, to the point where they've even gotten married and had a kid in one comic story. The same thing with Black Cat, although I don't believe she's a jewel thief. She's stealing money for... basically, she has to work for the Kingpin because the Kingpin has her father. But she's a thief, and she's trying to steal the money, and of course Spider-Man is there to stop her, but he kind of also falls in love with her, gets infatuated, and they have an on-again, off-again relationship.
I see the Spider-Woman from the 80s comics and cartoon series.
Mm-hmm.
What was her name?
I know there's one Jessica Drew, but I don't remember if that's her. I know that's somebody in the mythos. I think it's a Spider-Woman, but I don't know if it's the same one you're talking about.
Just the one from the cartoon that's on Disney Plus.
I haven't watched it, but it would probably be Jessica Drew.
And so there's quite a bit of stuff that they could still do with making Spider-Man movies. Mm-hmm. It's just got to be the right company making the movies, and I think going back to Sony is bad. It doesn't bode well for the next movie. So, yeah. No, we were talking about Doctor Strange.
Yes. Really good, really good movie.
The humor balance was there.
Yeah, of course, like it needed to be. I like the comparison that, or at least it's my comparison, that Doctor Strange is essentially Tony Stark, just in the medical field instead of the weapons industry. He's a rich, arrogant, cocky playboy. Well, actually, I don't even know if he's a playboy
because he's married.
Well, Doctor Strange isn't married. He
Right.
he had that girlfriend, but then they broke up. So he's not really we don't see him as a playboy, but he's still he's still the arrogant rich dude. But instead of making weapons and taking lives, he's performing surgeries and saving lives. But he's doing musical trivia while he's doing it. So I like that he's basically, he's the medical Tony Stark essentially, without the sleeping around.
Even with the same facial hair, just about.
Yeah, kind of. He gets that later.
What I liked, a lot of the Doctor Strange was the overall tone of the movie. It was really cool. Him coming to the realization that the pages that were taken out of that one spell book was for a reason, and it wasn't the reason that they thought it was. It was because of the Ancient One trying to hide information.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, she was cool. And one thing I thought was interesting is these villains that are smoke or clouds or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like from Silver Surfer.
Oh, Galactus.
Galactus, which in the comics I only seen Galactus as a person.
Yeah, it's usually a person.
And then there was in the Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm. At least he had a face, but that was Parallax.
Yeah, Parallax. And they're all like eaters of worlds too. And then the other one, I guess was this one, was
Dormammu.
Dormammu. But Dormammu was kind of easily defeated.
Well, Doctor Strange technically has died the most out of the other superheroes. Basically, because Dormammu exists in a world without time, and then Doctor Strange put his ass in a time loop.
Yeah.
And he just got so frustrated with it.
He's like, release me.
Yeah, he's able to.
So it was pretty. That's as simple as that's on par with Ghost Rider and
Blackheart.
yeah, Blackheart.
When he's like, "Oh, how does it feel to have all that evil, all that power, all of their souls,
All those souls."
and then just like
Took the penance there and jacked him up.
He was like 1,000 souls to burn, and he's like, "Oh no!" And then boom, gets him. That's a great.
I compared that to Dormammu. Like keeps killing Doctor Strange. He keeps coming back. It's like this dead man won't die, which is a line from a Kiss movie. But it's like, yeah, duh. Put you in a. There may not be a concept of time, but a time loop you can never get out of. Here's your Groundhog Day, jackass.
Mm-hmm. That was a cool way to defeat it.
But like easily defeated or easily outsmarted these cloud guys. I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know. What I thought was an interesting. It comes towards later in the movie after Doctor Strange is killed. Nameless henchman number 32. Yeah, because he was doing that astral projection fight. We don't know that guy's name that he was fighting and then killed. But then he was talking to Baron Mordo about it, where he's like, I've taken an oath to save life, and I just took it. And Baron Mordo replies, "You saved your own life and then whined about it like a puppy," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, get him." That was crazy. That was really good. I liked, because that is something that I think should be explored a bit more. When you have doctors in a role where they have to start doing some questionable things,
defending themselves
so
at the expense of others.
Yeah, their oath is to protect and preserve life, but now you're in a situation where you have to take it.
Or not.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry about that. Bella started barking a lot. There was just a big distraction going on, and we didn't want any of that on the video. But as I was in the midst of saying, I would like them to explore more of the doctor type character. The dilemma, yeah.
The moral dilemma of taking lives versus saving lives.
And like needing to, and which is why he like made the time loop deal with Dormammu, is so that he wouldn't have to kill the bad guys, which was cool. There's also a video game I started to play a little bit called Vampire, which explores that dilemma too. He's a doctor in the 1800s or so, and he gets the main character of Vampire. I don't remember what his name is.
Van Helsing?
No, but he gets turned into a vampire, and so the game puts this dilemma on you.
Blade.
Yeah. No, Blade is born that way, kind of, technically, not really. But anyways, they put the dilemma on you as if, are you going, because like if you drain people of their blood, you get much stronger and the game is much easier. Or you just take what you need to survive to not kill the people, which...
Like eating rats?
Yeah, kind of. And it doesn't make you...
An interview with the vampire?
Yeah, it doesn't make you as strong. So it's just like, are you going to embrace that evil side and like unlock all these cool powers and like massacre people? Or are you going to, be a doctor and uphold your oath? Anyways, that's just really cool. But I would like to see more of the, of that dilemma.
Speaking of Blade,
mm-hmm.
the guy that the new Blade movie that's coming out that they're working on,
mm-hmm.
it's the dude who played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage, which was what's her name's brother, Mariah Dillard's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Cottonmouth is the guy's got a very hard African name to say. He's not African American. He's like American African, because his name I can't pronounce it. But he's also in the Green Book, and he was on Crossing Jordan in the first season. Dude's name is hella crazy.
But you mentioned this when we were watching Doctor Strange. Is it has the best visuals out of all of the movies? Well, and we just watched Far From Home. So if you think comparatively, when that whole fight scene with Mysterio and Doctor Strange, what do you think now?
Oh, that just reminded me. What I was gonna say was about my favorite aerial scene. First was in Iron Man 3, was the rescue of the
the dudes from Air Force One,
the people in the plane,
which
because we got, not only did it look cool, but then we got to see how they did it with that behind the scenes thing, so that always remained my favorite aerial, not fight scene, so aerial scene. But then I was going to say this one had a really good aerial scene too. Was Spider-Man fighting the drones,
mm-hmm.
and how they had the different perspectives. They had like cameras on the drones,
mm-hmm.
so you could see like Peter like holding on and trying to climb up on him. They had scenes of them going down and diving. They had all the stuff where they, I'm sure, animated Spider-Man into it.
Mm-hmm.
So where he was, that was like, okay, now that didn't become my new favorite aerial scene, but it became my second favorite aerial scene.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take Spider-Man's fight scene in the building, where with all the illusions,
mm-hmm.
that I think is more. You want to compare that more to
that's what I was talking
the
about.
Inception style visuals of Doctor Strange. Because they both dealing with not illusions, because they were really actually turning stuff around. But yeah, I mean, basically Marvel got a hold of the studio that did the Inception stuff.
I think that was...
And put them to work.
I want to say that was Industrial Light and Magic.
I don't know.
I could be
There's
wrong.
so many companies that deal with special effects.
Actually.
But the Inception style stuff was like, it was like Inception times 10 or times 100 in Doctor Strange. Bending of the scenery.
100%.
And then, so if you comparatively, you put that against Peter's fight inside the illusions in the abandoned building, I'm still going to come out with Doctor Strange on top, just because of the mind freaking bending. Plus, then when he did he enter the quantum universe?
It looks so when the Ancient One knocks him out and he's going through. It kind of looks like
he's in the quantum realm.
Yeah, it's never really said like specifically that's where.
But it sure looked a lot like it.
Yeah, definitely. I am looking for the visual effects.
Yeah,
too.
so the yeah, so it did look. But I was between Spider-Man's fight in the illusion and the Inception stuff that they did in Doctor Strange, hands down, dude, that looked so cool. And so, did that come out in 3D?
What?
Doctor Strange.
I don't think so.
That would have been hella crazy in 3D. I probably would have gotten sick and thrown up.
It doesn't look like there is a name of the company, but the guy.
In the credits of the movie, you would see it.
Yeah, well, I just Googled, but the guy's name is Paul Franklin. And he did the visual effect, or he was the visual effects supervisor for Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and Inception.
Okay.
So he probably worked on The Dark Knight Rises as well.
But shoot, dude. Yeah. Anyway, where are we?
So we're on Doctor Strange still.
Right.
We were just talking about the effects. As the whole movie, I liked it. Again, at least I have said that Marvel doesn't make a bad movie. It's up to your enjoyment. I enjoyed this movie fairly well.
I did. Okay, and then they're setting up for the next one. What that guy's going to become, Baron Mordo. What do you think about him basically turning evil because he's disillusioned with?
Right. So everything that he knew to be true and held on to was
a lie.
The Ancient One was lying to him. And so that just shattered his whole world, his whole view.
But should it turn him evil? Is that likely for him to do? Because I don't think so.
I don't think it should have made him go evil. There should have been something else. We should have seen that he was a bit more questionable, because there's a couple lines of dialogue with Doctor Strange, but those are more or less throwaway lines, because we didn't see those things, because he's you have no idea what I've done, and yes, I would kill somebody.
Well,
but but that doesn't.
But he's killing for righteous reasons.
Well, but I was talking about you have no idea what I've done, and I would kill somebody. It's right. That doesn't seem like he should be evil. And then his whole world is shattered, so he goes it should have you have no idea what I've done. I think it should have been explored a little bit more, and we should have seen him
So you're thinking that he was an evil person in the past?
Yeah, that's what it could have been.
I don't think so.
Well, I don't think it was, because it wasn't really shown. He just said that.
Well, but
throwaway line.
I don't think so. I think he's saying, as far as being a guardian of the mystic arts, that he has killed a lot of villains. Mm-hmm. That's what I think he meant when he said, "You have no idea what I've done." It's he has killed people in the past as part of the protection that they give.
Right.
So that's why I don't think he's doing it for the reasons that he believes to be true, as he's a good guy. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, when he finds out that the Ancient One had deceived him, that makes him so mad that he's well, screw goodness, which I've been being all my life. Now I'm going to be a bad guy. See, I don't think that works.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
No, it doesn't.
It's I'm driving a white car because it's my favorite color. I wear black all the time because it's my favorite color. Oh, it's not really black. it's a really deep dark purple. Well, now I'm mad. I'm going to wear tie-dye.
Yeah, I'm never going to wear black again.
I'll never wear black again. That just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So for him he was on the side of good and right. No matter if he was being deceived or not, he was still dealing with dispatching threats and villains. So all of a sudden now I'm going to be a villain because I'm mad?
Right, because the only thing...
Yeah. So
the only thing that the Ancient One lied to him about is she just drew power from the dark dimension to, like, make herself live longer, essentially. The only time that she really got a more... like a bigger power boost is when they were in the mirror dimension, which Baron Mordo says. So... that doesn't make a whole lot of sense as his descent into villainy.
Yeah, but otherwise, excellent movie.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that in the comics, Baron Mordo is his arch nemesis. So that, whatever.
So, and then we know that in the next Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which, holy crap, I think there's going to be more Inception stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
So with that title, and we know that Baron Mordo is going to be one of the villains, but there's probably going to be more than one because I forgot what was that thing. Oh, it was in The Boys where this one said, everybody loves a team up.
Oh.
They put these two heroes together, and they're like, why? Because everybody loves a team up. So we know that Scarlet Witch will be with Doctor Strange. And Thor is with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So stuff's going to be happening that's still cool. We'll just have to parse our information or our subjects that we talk about now.
There was an interesting thing in Doctor Strange that I don't understand why it was an either or type deal. So his hands get crushed and they shake and everything, and he wants to fix them. And so that's the whole reason he wants to learn the mystic arts, is so that he can get his hands fixed and everything. Well, I think, because also when the Ancient One knocks him out and he sees everything, he's like, oh my God, please teach me. So also Doctor Strange's world was shattered and he had to unlearn everything, and then he became a good guy. So that also doesn't make sense why Baron Mordo. But he learned before he travels to the place. I can think of the name. I can't think of the name. But he meets the other guy, and he tells him what happens. The guy that got his back crushed, and so he learns how to fix it. And he goes and he's like, "But how did you guys fix his back?" And she's like, "Oh, well, basically the Ancient One is like, well, he just basically channels the mystic arts into his body, and it fixes him. But he left us." And then so the Ancient One gives Doctor Strange is like, yeah, you can channel the mystic energy into your hands, and you could just walk away and you just live a normal life. You can go back to being a surgeon, or you can take up this fight and become the Sorcerer Supreme and defend. Why can't he do both? Why can't he just channel mystic energy into his hands? Maybe not go back to being a doctor.
I was just going to say, well, they can't do that.
He could just channel the mystic energy into his hands, and then they would work normally, and he would still be the Sorcerer Supreme.
Well, he is in Endgame.
What?
He's basically just the Sorcerer Supreme in
Endgame.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, but
and his hands work fine.
Kind of. You saw him when he closes this; his hands are shaking.
And he shows him the number one.
Yeah, his hands are still shaking.
Well,
so
I think that was because of what he'd been through.
I don't know.
His fight.
I think it's. I don't know. I don't know why that was presented as an either or type deal. I think he could have just made his hands work fine. But other than that,
who's your favorite supporting character
in the whole entire MCU or in Doctor Strange?
In Doctor Strange. Because our favorite supporting character in Spider-Man is Ned.
Yeah.
The guy in the chair.
Maybe his girlfriend. Well, girlfriend-ish, loosely termed.
I think that was Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
My favorite is Wong.
Well, yeah, Wong is really great too.
He's my favorite supporting character.
I like it that he's he basically threatens Doctor Strange. He's like, you mess up my library. I forget exactly what he says. I think he's like, I'll scatter your ashes across the universe or something. He's all, well, thanks for the history lesson and the threat against my life.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in it. No, I'll just throw it in there. In Infinity War, Wong does that cool thing, and Iron Man's like, Wong, you're invited to my wedding, and then like flies away. I think so, but I think just because her like, because she's just a normal doctor, just chilling. Then Doctor Strange comes back, and he's dying, and she's trying to save him.
It starts with the K sound. I don't know if it's spelled with C, but he goes to Kathmandu, but then he goes to wherever they're at in the wherever their address is and everything. Right. But also, it sounds sort of similar to the other one that's in Iron Fist, which was Kung Lao. Whatever.
Is a character.
But yeah, it's something like that. It's I don't remember the name of the place that he went to, but it's similar to that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to AEW.
Well, final thoughts on Doctor Strange first.
It was good. I really liked it. Mm-hmm. That one I don't remember too many plot holes where it was so obvious, like where they were like, here's a scene where they say this, but here's a scene where it's directly contradicts. I don't remember that. So overall it was a great movie. Mm-hmm. What's this? Is this my mantra? No, this is our Wi-Fi password.
We're not savages. Yeah. It just leaves them. Yeah, I think that was good. And I like the struggle that they were showing him. I think that's like my favorite part of the movie, is his struggle. Like it's before he goes to Kathmandu. He's trying to shave his beard. He's got both hands on the razor and he can't do it, so he drops it. Then the whole time that he's there, he's struggling to learn magic. And then when he finally does it, he shaves and he cuts his hair because he wants to get all proper. But then he like, like, I like the goatee. I like, and he leaves it. I think that's a cool reason for him to have the goatee, and just to show that struggle.
Casting really cool. Wise, you like Benedict?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Mean, he's been Doctor Who? He's been Sherlock Holmes. He's Sherlock Holmes in a series
called
on
Elementary or something.
No, that's Johnny Lee Miller.
Oh,
no, he's Sherlock Holmes on a BBC production.
Yeah.
Was he Doctor Who?
I don't know. I don't watch.
So he's been in a few other things. Isn't he in one of the Star Trek movies, the Abrams movies?
I just saw.
So I've heard of him. I know of him, and so I didn't have a problem with them casting him, and so he's good. He's got the character down. I remember reading the comics, a couple of them when I was a kid, so I think the attitude is there. Mm-hmm. And first, I don't want to do this type of thing versus, okay, now I'm going to do it. And then, like, by the time Endgame comes out, he's like,
Yeah, well, I think, he realizes, like, Thanos is
yeah, but of threat. But, he's comfortable with his powers, and he knows how to use them and everything. Mm-hmm. So, great choice to play him.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. He's not an actor I'm super familiar with. Oh, is it just called Sherlock?
Yeah.
Okay. So not very familiar with him. I haven't watched like a full episode of Sherlock, but I've seen some stuff in it, seen some scenes. Yeah, that's an accurate sentence. And I didn't think his acting was bad or anything. No, I think he did great as Doctor Strange. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, as far as they continue them, if they do what they've been doing, they each get 3 movies apiece. For some reason, they're all trilogies.
Unless you're the Hulk, then you just get one standalone film.
Hopefully Ruffalo gets his own film, because that'll be so cool for them to explore the Hulk character. But
yeah, I'm honestly wondering why he's only had one standalone film.
Thor's going to have a 4th. Forgot about that.
Because Love and Thunder.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Guardians Volume 3 will be next. Who else is coming up on their 3rd movie?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man will have a 3rd. So, yeah, as I'm saying, if they do, there's going to be a Doctor Strange 2 and a Doctor Strange 3.
Right.
I'm comfortable with them keeping...
there's a Black Panther 2.
Yeah, and then so you know that there'll be a 3.
Right.
So I'm comfortable with the actors that they have in place right now. I don't want any recasting. That's why I'm pissed about Spider-Man. So... but anyway, AEW Dark and Dynamite. Yeah, I finally got you to watch it Dark
because I wasn't working.
Yeah, and so it's cool what they're doing in Dark is they're giving the young guys, they're putting them in there with the veterans to help get them exposure and get them over and just give them the chance. Okay, you're signed to our roster. Let's see what you can do. And especially the comeback of Pride and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. Though their last two matches on Dark were just okay. You guys have a little bit of offense, but that's not enough. It's time. We're gonna kick your ass, and that worked out the same with who was it?
Well, were they on Dark or were they on Dynamite? Was Jurassic Express?
No, it was those guys that. No, it was SCU. Remember?
Oh yeah. They were wrestling the
some like nobodies, and they got a little bit of stuff in on Kazarian a little bit, but what's his name? What is his name?
It's Frankie Kazarian and
Christopher Daniels and the guys. Oh, something Sky.
Oh, Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, Scorpio Sky got tagged in after they kind of went a little bit to town on Kazarian, and then just like, okay, that's enough, and just like beat the crap out of him. That's what I love, though, that they'll give these guys a chance. Here's your TV time, do what you can do, and it's like, okay, well, that was good, but now it's time to end this.
Right, and I think because that's where Big Swole came from. She was on Dark. Right? And she lost her match, and then they're like, okay, go to you'll be on Dynamite. And it's like, but I lost. But people liked you. And
they showed that footage of her talking to Kenny Omega, and she was so disappointed in her debut, and he was like, no, you did great. People want to see you. So
go out there and be Big Swole now.
Yeah. So they're doing such, and then plus they're forwarding. They're forwarding a couple of the storylines or advancing a couple of the storylines. The whole Ali and QT Marshall. There's a swerve. There's a swerve. And even we were watching it, and I've known for a long time because it's been building up ever since the first time where she kind of looked at him while he was wrestling. That was coming, and I knew for a long time that's going to be a swerve. And then Ollie Davis on Wrestle Talk said he can't wait for the swerve. And it's like, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It's going to be great.
That's going to be cool. And so they advanced the storyline on Dark. And then that's the thing, too, is that at first Dark was the Dark matches that they filmed either prior or after the main program of Dynamite. And it was just kind of extra guys that they've got. And they weren't really, now they're mixing it up, putting the main roster guys on Dark and working with the young guys. That's so cool. That makes it that much more better. I'm hoping they refocus it to some of the other stuff I missed, like the Control Center stuff. I don't even know if you remember what that is. They had it was Tony and Dasha in the Control Center, and they previewed storylines and matches. And then they had I can't remember what her name was. She did she gave out the rankings, which they should need to go back and do that. So I think if they take what they had, and then mix in with the matches that are veterans and new talent, that could be another 2-hour show, and which they should. Now I know that there's another show, a TNT show coming, but so far don't really know what that's going to be about.
Right. Just because they're amassing a large roster.
And then the other big story is Colt Cabana. Boom, boom. Colt Cabana joining the Dark Order.
I know. Oh, my God. I love it. Because he had that match with Sam Guevara, and they showed the graphic. You see Guevara behind him just kind of like doing his Spanish God thing. But then you see Colt Cabana, he's got a big old smile on his face.
Oh, that's the way he is every week.
I know. I know. So, and I think he had a thumbs up in there. I don't remember. It kind of looked like it.
It was fingers up.
Yeah, but it's a big old smile. And it's like, yeah, that guy becoming heel is just awesome
That's
storytelling.
like Hogan turning heel.
Yeah, you know, the big old smile and his graphic. His music is very upbeat when he comes out. You know, and then for him to go heel, I love it.
I think, too, the rebooting of the Dark Order. I consider this going to be like the third reboot.
Right.
Well, second, because the original Dark Order. Did you know those two guys before they were the Dark Order? They were in AEW before it was a company. They were wrestling for them. They were called the Super Smash Brothers, and they dressed like Mario and Luigi.
Evil Uno and
Stu Grayson.
Grayson. Oh no, I didn't know that.
Then once they got there, once it was becoming a big product and it was going to be on TV, the company that I guess Nintendo said, nah, we're going to put a stop to that. You guys can't be the Super Smash Brothers. That's hilarious. But anyway, they came out and they had the Creepers as Stu Grayson and Evil Uno just being totally dominant, and then it kind of went away, and then because people weren't like familiar with it, so then they said, well, wait a minute, here, watch these video packages,
which were phenomenal, by the way.
And that spokesperson, we still don't know, he's like a cross between Jake Hager and Daniel Bryan. Yeah, look at him. He's just called the spokesman, and then like they had filmed some web vignettes where it was possibly gonna be I forgot who they said. There was Raven. It wasn't him. Matt Hardy. It wasn't him. There was one other one.
Was it Kazarian?
No. Christopher Daniels did that. No, but there was Osprey. It was going to be Will Osprey, the villain from Villain Enterprises, also from the Elite. Because they did film one where it was sounded like him talking, and then he has trademark sunglasses, and he was like telling Uno to do something, or they were trying to recruit somebody, and he was mad, and he took the glasses off and like flung them across the table, and they bounced, and you can see there were Will Osprey's glasses. So that was part of the one possibility,
right? And
then they put Raven in the audience, which was so cool. That was such a killer. They call that a red herring, a distraction, and so. Anyway, getting back into what they've done now, bringing in Brody Lee, and kind of like they're kicking out all the nobodies, and apparently there's going to be 10 people.
Right. So I think, when they first started, the thing where I thought a lot of people were confused about is like, okay, here's this relatively new tag team. The Dark Order technically is brand new, although the guys have been wrestling for a while. And then they just had, what are they called again? They're not Creepers. They just had like a mass of them, and so it's a lot of people were like wondering like, well, where did these guys come from? I did think it was cool that after Stu Grayson and Evil Uno won, the Creepers formed the throne for him to sit on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was cool, but I think a lot of people were confused as to, well, where did they get such a big following? How did they get this? So now they've shown...
And are these guys wrestlers?
Right, and now so they've shown the video packages of like, stop losing, stop being a loser, join the Dark Order, so that they're recruiting people.
Right, and now so I don't know if they're still going to have the Creepers. I hope they do, but we've seen that the number of guys is 10, and they're kicking some out. There was a match where 8 and 9 did a tag match against somebody, and they lost. And 8 is a smaller guy, which we think could be Marco Stunt. Remember? And then Brody Lee came out and just like power slammed the crap out of him, like sent him to hell, or put him through the mat, through the ring, whatever. But so now we've got Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are 1 and 2.
You figured that out on your own? Yeah.
And then Alex Reynolds and Something Silver, those guys are, they must be, well, they can't be 4 and 5 because remember they just got a 5.
Yeah.
So they must be 6 and 7. So there's a 4. We don't know who that. Maybe that's going to
be Brody Lee.
No, Colt Cabana.
I don't know. I said Brody Lee.
Colt Cabana could be number 4. Mm-hmm. So we're talking. That's going to be a hella big faction.
Yeah.
And if you're getting, that's a big name. Colt Cabana is a big name, and Brody Lee's a relatively big name. The other guys,
right?
Neither here nor there. Preston Vance, he's a new guy. He's a new wrestler. Mm-hmm. He's 10. So we don't know who they're going to get, but getting Colt Cabana is huge.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I like it that. So if you're unfamiliar with AEW, a lot of the things that they said when they were getting the show started and they've kept with it is that your wins and losses mean something, and that puts you into a ranking system. Mm-hmm. And for somebody to go on a losing streak and that's on your record, that's a hell of a thing to have on your record. And then the Dark Order emerges and it's like, stop losing, join us and
right.
win.
And then the other, because except for the fact that the pandemic caused Grayson and Uno to be trapped in Canada, which they made their return, but they were number 1 ranked tag team.
They were,
and then but they couldn't wrestle, so their rankings went down.
Right.
And which totally makes sense. I mean, it sucks,
right?
But it totally makes sense if they're going to keep the ranking system there.
Yeah. Unlike another company that does, you can't work or you're refusing to work, we're going to strip you of the title. That's one wrestler versus another wrestler who doesn't show up for 6 months, doesn't defend the title, and is still champion.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to the stuff about the Dark Order and Colt Cabana and the wins and loss record and all that. So Uno and Grayson are back. They can start wrestling again. And then I don't know. I think we were done on that one.
No, because I want them to pick up that storyline that kind of got dropped off a little bit. Unless I haven't been paying that much attention, it doesn't seem that Brody Lee's doing his parodies of McMahon anymore. Because the big thing was Evil Uno was saying that once the Exalted One gets here, you will see things the way I see them. Your eyes will be opened, and that kind of didn't really happen. And then they got stuck in Canada. But now they're back. We got Mr. Brody Lee there. Like, come on, give us that storyline. That's what I want to see.
Well, I think Brody Lee's videos where he was kind of poking fun at his old boss, maybe that's done now. Mm-hmm. It was just a couple of ribs on McMahon, which were hilarious. Now they're more focused on building up their numbers and taking a new storyline. Now he does want to get the title back from Cody. It's funny, everybody's gunning for Cody and they build him up and then they fail. And it's like, well, okay, now what are you gonna do?
You mean against Moxley?
No, Cody.
Cody's only had the title for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but the Butcher and the Blade and Hallie, what were they? Their mission statement?
Yeah.
They wanted to take out Cody. Mm-hmm. The Dark Order, they were gunning for Cody. Everybody has, but then nothing happens.
Right.
And by the same token, to Moxley too.
I'm going to be real upset if Brian Cage loses to Moxley.
What is it time for? Is it time for Mox to lose, to drop the strap?
Sure, why not? Against other people, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. He hasn't been champion as long as Jericho, but Brody Lee's a big guy. He's a great wrestler. And, Mox choked him out. Okay, cool, that makes sense. But everything that we're supposed to see of Brian Cage, and if you're familiar with his wrestling style, how in the world is a Mox supposed to even come close to that? And also...
Yeah, but that was the same thing with Jake Hager, and he beat Hager.
Yeah. And I was going to say the other thing is Mox is kind of like Darby Allin, where he's like a loner. Brian Cage is coaching Taz, Taz is coaching Brian Cage, allegedly. If he is. If he isn't, he's just an on-screen. Either way, it's cool, and it's gonna play out in the storyline of I want to see like a backstage of them sitting of Taz and Brian Cage in the back, and they're watching Jon Moxley matches, and they have like notepads and stuff.
What I want to know though, it's like like we talked about Lance Archer and everything. Okay, that feud is effectively done. He lost. So now what do we do with them?
Right, and he was this big unstoppable guy, but then he was stoppable.
So now what does that mean for him and Jake the Snake? What do they do? Who do they pick? I mean, they got to pick a feud now that's going to make some sense. But the thing is everybody wants a title. So other feuds, it's like, well, how's that advancing you towards your goal of getting your title? You know?
I mean, honestly, what I want to see is Brian Cage and Lance Archer. But I think it should have been Lance Archer who didn't lose, and then so it would have...
I don't think Lance Archer joined the Dark Order.
Yeah. But Lance Archer and Brian Cage against each other, that would like be awesome.
But I think Preston Vance is their big guy, so don't think they're going to get a giant like Archer or anybody like that. Also, there was another storyline. Well, not a storyline. The Cody matches, his TV defenses.
I like those.
Have been great
he's putting
because
people over.
He's picking out these young guys and giving them their shot, and so far he's gonna keep retaining. That's gonna go for a while.
But he's not burying them.
He's not burying them. He's putting them over, even though he's beating them. They both come out looking good.
He raises their hands,
and also those young guys like Mark Quinn and Jungle Boy. They're appreciative, and you can see it on screen. They're thanking Cody. It's like, thank you. That was a great match. Cody comes out on top, which because he's going to keep that title for a while. So he looks good. He gets beat up. He gets battered. He got his head busted open in the Jungle Boy match, but he still comes out on top. And then the challengers have been like within milliseconds of
beating him.
So they look good. They don't look like chumps. So those matches are great.
Who did I want to talk about a specific match, because we usually give these general overviews, but there was a really good match. It was Jurassic Express against who? Who did they wrestle? They were wrestling. It wasn't SCU.
Was it Best Friends and Orange Cassidy?
No.
And then the beatdown happened afterward?
Maybe it was. I don't know. But I really like that match. Luchasaurus is definitely one of my favorite wrestlers. And he normally teams with Jungle Boy. But his tag partner this time was Marco Stunt. And that match just lent itself to so much, because you got Luchasaurus coming in. He's a big dude. He's putting the hurt. He's got the strength. And then you tag in Marco Stunt, who's like 5'2", 45 pounds, but he still gets an offense in. And he's like, he can counter things because he's so small. He can turn the momentum around and everything. And then especially when Luchasaurus hit the tail whip on the two dudes, and then I was going to pick them up, and Marco Stunt wanted to get one in, and he had to like swing all the way around and stretch up to get him, but he got him. Or when Marco Stunt was trying to suplex one of them, and he couldn't do it, so Luchasaurus came over and grabbed his tights and helped him get over. That was a great match.
Think about Luchasaurus too. Is that dude's a hella good. He's a big boy, but they need some more big boy matches between him and somebody like him and Hager. Well, I was gonna say the Battle Royal that they had. Remember, it was one of the dudes that ended up in the last few guys. Big is Billy Gunn. Now they just call him Billy. It's I guess WWE owns the trademark of the name Billy Gunn, but that's why they're just calling him Billy. Except him and his son together are called the Gunn Club, and his son's name is Austin Gunn.
Well, I'm sure they could. WWE didn't trademark that,
right? So, but you know, we know he's Billy Gunn, but they just call him Billy. But that dude is huge, and he's still in good shape too. He's another guy that's probably in his 50s, and he's just phenomenally jacked and huge, man. Him and Luchasaurus were forehead to forehead. Jeez, man.
So if we take Wardlow, Brian Cage, Brody Lee, Lance Archer, Colt Cabana, because he deserves to be in there.
As far as their big guys?
Yeah. Did I see Luchasaurus yet?
I don't know, but I don't know. Colt Cabana's not that big of a dude.
Oh, I think, look at his torso again. You'll change your mind. And then Luchasaurus, if I didn't already say him. And then, even though he's in another company, Braun Strowman.
Jake Hager.
Jake Hager.
He's a big dude.
Those 8 guys.
I want to see those big boys just go
Billy
at it.
And Billy. So those 9 dudes, just put them all in a match, please. And then you'll really need to reinforce the ring.
True.
When you got all those dudes up in there, that would be crazy.
We had also the it was Sheeta and Statlander against
Penelope Ford and
Nyla Rose.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah. Nyla Rose.
That was a good match.
Yes, it was. I think it's interesting. The kind of story that it looks to me that they're putting is that Statlander and Sheeta love to hate each other, because they team together a lot. But I mean, they'll still fight back and forth with each other.
Yeah, but they don't do it when they're teaming.
No. That's what I'm saying. They love to hate each other.
No, I don't see that. Because when they put them together, they work together. They don't dissent. Mm-hmm. So that would be where your love to hate is. Like, I hate to be with this person, but I have to be with them for the team. But I'm going to cause shenanigans. See, it's not happening. Nyla Rose and Penelope Ford. See, I don't like. And then Penelope Ford, remember, she used the belt.
Yeah, that's the only way that she.
I don't like her.
Is she took out Sheeta with her own belt.
Yeah. I don't know why they're pushing her. I don't think she's anything. That she's kind of like what the hell's her name? She never gets a push, but she keeps trying. Is the muscle chick? Yeah,
Dana Brooke.
Yeah, she's like Dana Brooke. She's not that good of a wrestler, but they'll give her some TV time. Penelope Ford's getting a push, and she's not that good of a wrestler, I don't think.
I mean, while you have Statlander and Sheeta. And also, I don't know how Statlander lost her number 2 position. Because as far as I'm aware, she hasn't been missing.
She had a loss, and then who's above her now?
Nyla Rose.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think Nyla Rose beat Big Swole and somebody else. And Statlander had a loss, I think.
Oh, okay.
So that's how she jumped over her in the rankings.
Before Sheeta won the title, it was Nyla Rose was champion, then Sheeta was number 1 contender, and Statlander was number 2. So, yeah.
Then Sheeta was champion, and then Statlander was 1.
Yeah.
And Nyla Rose was wherever.
And now Nyla Rose is 2. Mm-hmm. Or no, is 1, I'm sorry.
1, yeah.
And Statlander is lower on the rankings. I don't understand that well. But
the one thing about their women's division, it needs a little more direction. They're also bringing in, there's, I forgot her name, it's Kylin. She's like Meridia from Brave. She's like this redheaded.
Merida.
Whatever. She's Scottish or Brit or Irish, whatever she is. She's actually had some pretty good showings. And then there's Shanna, the Brazilian one who dances around. She's got her little gimmick. Those two are good. And then that one, Anna Jay, the one that had like the little bow tie thing going on. So those 3, they haven't really done anything with them. They've given them a couple of TV matches, but it's like few and far between. So they need a veteran to come in there and give them some direction as backstage and in the ring too. Somebody that could work with them and like Cody, get them over.
Right.
Brandy's supposed to be the head of the women's division, but she's not even involved anymore. So I don't know who's in charge of their women's division.
I don't know. But my favorite thing did return for this episode, and that's Chris Jericho on commentary on the commentary team, because I've said this before and I'll stand by it and I'll continue to say it. I love Chris Jericho on commentary because he's out there being the bad guy, being the heel, talking trash.
But puts him over anyway.
Yeah. He's making fun of people.
Pineapple Pete, yeah, I hate that guy.
Makes up names, but then at the same time, he's like...
I won't take anything away from their talent and their skills.
And he'll talk about... like he was on commentary a couple times before he took on Jon Moxley, and I forget exactly what he says, but he's to the effect of like, oh, I know he's dangerous, I know he's a bad wrestler, not in a negative connotation.
I think he said badass, actually.
Yeah, something like that, and not in a negative connotation. He's like, that's why I don't want to wrestle him. That's why I want him in the inner circle. I want him on my side because I know what kind of wrestler he is. Mm-hmm. And for Jericho to go out there, he doesn't have to do that. He can just be out there.
Just heel it up.
And just heel it up. Just be a dick. Just talk all kinds of trash. Put everybody down. And, that would be fine. He's a bad guy. That's what he's supposed to do. But he takes the time to say, so-and-so, whoever's wrestling.
I hate that guy. He smells bad. He looks ugly, whatever. But
his talent in the ring is, unquestionable. Look at him go. Look at this. And you can see the difference, too, when... Jericho left and they had Taz on commentary. And he basically just talked Moxley down the entire time. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just find an AEW match where Chris Jericho is commentating, and then find one where Taz is, especially now that he has Brian Cage.
Yeah, but that was his whole thing was to be a heel.
And but the difference in talking this guy down will simultaneously build him up versus just talk him down the entire match. Yeah. This is my favorite thing. Obviously not a permanent member on the commentary team, but when he comes out, it's special.
It's fun.
And you know what you're going to get.
Yeah, Jericho does such a great job. They've got, like we've mentioned before, they have got such a great pool of talented people over there who know the wrestling business. That's why they're going to be around for a long time, a damn long time. I'm looking forward to getting the audience back, the crowd, the live crowds. You've noticed there's been about 10 to 20 people sitting way far back out in the arena seats.
Yeah.
But I don't know, should the faces and heels
stay out there?
Should the locker room go back once things come to normal, or should they stay there?
I think they should keep them there. Maybe not as many, although it would be hard to do with a live crowd because they're going to want to be all up on them, taking photos and stuff like that. And then you got to try to have the heels be heels.
They could figure that out, though.
Yeah,
they could put up a barrier or something.
Yeah, something. I think, because it is cool to have them out there. And it adds like a little dynamic to it.
And then I think we're going to call...
because we're getting
time on this episode. But I think when we come back on 13, we didn't get a chance to talk about... Let's talk about MJF.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Let's save that for next week. And also, plus, we're going to see what happens next week, too.
Right.
As far as Dark and Dynamite goes. But, yeah, his storyline is great, too. And so, I think that's where we're going to stop.
Yeah, I think, so with that, I'm the Wolf.
I'm Daddy-O.
And we will howl with you again next time.